Here we go. What up, what up, what up, everyone? Yes, I know I am late for work. I am late for work. How's everyone doing? Gonna wait a little bit till we get some more people up in here. In the meantime, I'll get my media assets together. Ladies, Yvette, darling, it certainly was a happy Tuesday, baby. I had such an amazing time. Hold on for a second. Let me see where my monsters at. Where are my monsters at? Give me 1 second, Yvette. I gotta show you. They're so cute. They are so cute together. In the meantime, give me a second. Let me get my link. And put it in the comments for folks. Paste. There we go. Okay, there we go. I'll be right back. Oh, here we go. All right. Hold on. Look at that. Okay, so this one was called Annoyed Alien. I lost the little thing. This one was called Annoyed Alien. Baby, she got the little 3 eyes and the 2 little teeth and stuff like that. And wait a minute. Look at the other one. Look at the other lafufus. The labubu, not labubus, lafufus. Because yeah, honey, she ain't paying $65 for a bag charm. Mr. Stevens, how are you, my love?
I'm fine. I'm just watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I haven't watched that in so long. And
Baby.
come to find out, that was filmed in Chicago.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And sweet, wait a minute. Oh, we got a full house tonight. The Lady Autumn is up in here. Greetings, my darling. Yeah, sweetie. You know what? Ferris Bueller's, but you know what? When I think of a film that was historically Chicago, I think of the Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah.
James
Yeah.
Brown, Shaka Khan. James Brown, Shaka Khan, Aretha Franklin.
Aretha.
Cab Calloway. All of these musical greats were up in there. And then if you go back, there is a scene where Carrie Fisher was in this beauty salon and she was learning how to use a flamethrower. The name of the beauty salon was called Curl Up and Die. And that was owned by my girlfriend, Vanessa Salgado's mother, Elda Salgado. That was her beauty salon. And that was filmed at the end of the block of where I used to live. So I have a very strong affinity to the Blues Brothers. And back in the day, sweetie, there was some, again, Shaka, Sherilyn, Aretha Franklin. I'm missing someone else. I'm missing one more. Tina Marie. Those are my vocalists. And when I saw Aretha Franklin on that screen, number one, she was so beautiful. That was thin Aretha. That was thin, sassy Aretha. And her lines, they were amazing. I forgot what the name of the director was. He directed Thriller. Landis. The script that Aretha was given, she goes to her guy, she goes, "Yo, Matt, we got 2 honkies out here dressed like Hasidic diamond merchants. One of them wants 4 whole fried chicken. The other one wants toast, dry, with nothing on it." And then Matt goes, "Oh shit, those are the Blues Brothers." Aretha's like, "The Blues Brothers? They still owe you money, fool." Baby, Aretha was laid down the law, and then she broke into To Think. That was good. That was good. Mr. Stevens, I see you putting some tarot in your social media.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing the Queen of Wands. I'm just doing it bit by bit. And I just wanted to just put songs that reminded me of the tarot, but I can't find. I gotta think. I really have to think.
That's what I try to do. I try to get a song to get a song to relate to like some of the subject matter. And
So really quick, what would you give for the Queen of Wands?
it depends on it depends on where I'm going with at that point.
Okay, got you. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
okay, what is her definition?
I'm thinking confidence. I'm the shit, I know it all, that's what I think of the
So right,
Queen.
so right off the bat, Jill Scott getting in my way.
Oh, getting in the way. Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Okay, yeah,
I
okay.
mean, so I mean, it's a feeling, and sometimes listen, darling. I've been doing this for 3 years. This channel, like I said, is nowhere near I want it to be, but
Uh-huh.
hey, it is what it is, and some people will resonate with it, other people will not. But I'm gonna tell you this,
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you this: you keep overthinking, you ain't gonna make no moves.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You keep
That
overthinking,
is
you
true.
ain't gonna make no moves.
That's true. Oh, and I wanted to tell you something really quick. So yesterday I told my boss about the situation we talked about and everything, and he said that he would talk to him about it. So I saw the boy yesterday. He was looking at me. I think he was trying to provoke me. He was trying to provoke me to get me to go off on him. Nah, that's too easy. That's too
So
easy.
tell you there was somebody at my job that was making waves that people did not like, and I went yesterday and come to find out that that person quit. So sometimes,
Oh,
yep, sometimes the trash takes itself out.
that's true. Okay. Where's Miss Autumn? Where's Miss Autumn at?
Wait a minute, she's here. She's here.
Oh,
She may not have anything to say. She may just want to be a an audience member today. That's okay. Not
okay. Okay.
everybody's
Well,
got to
well,
come out.
well, I can't wait. Well, I can't wait to the show. I'm gonna watch you and such. So I'm gonna let you do your thing.
All right,
All
darling.
right.
Thank you for
Bye
coming up,
bye.
though. Thank you for always coming up. All right, y'all. So listen. So as I said, if I don't put up content, I always come on live. I had to go to the doctor today. I had a fast. They had to draw blood. They had to take an EKG. All this type of stuff. Blood pressure going down. So we're gonna know more a little later. And so I'm pretty happy with that. But oh, wait a minute. Oh, y'all, shit. I was so busy talking to Mr. Stevens, I didn't sanctify my area. I did not sanctify my area. Today, the moon was void of course. Today the moon was void of course. And when the moon is void of course, that means we ain't gonna push shit. We not forcing nothing. We not forcing nothing. And this was exactly one of those days. We're gonna take whatever listen, whatever this day is gonna bring, it's gonna bring, and we ain't gonna be bothered. Tomorrow's a brand new day. So I wanted to come on up here and I wanted to give you all your little forecast. Give me a second, y'all. You know what, y'all? Palo Santo is a very sacred wood, but baby, I don't know what I gotta do. Maybe I gotta put her in my oven, to dry her out a little bit more. But baby, she just does not give me the smoke that I'm looking for. Oh, there she go. There she go. There she go. All right. So with all that being said, let me go ahead and sanctify my area. Let me sanctify these cards, and we're gonna get into it. So, like I said, today the moon was void, of course. So and before I go any further, we're gonna be getting our downloads today from the Human Spirit Oracle by my good lady. Her name is Jenna Digletaglia. Babe, that name. Again, I had did like a little review on one of her other cards, and she sent me an autographed copy, and I was so grateful. So when I tag her, I know that she's going to see it. But yeah, honey, she's been very encouraging. Let me just say that much, okay? So yeah, hold on. So y'all, so I'm gonna shuffle. Okay, we're gonna pull that right there. And there we go. All right. So the moon being void, of course. Okay. So let me break this down in a way that we can all relate to it. So when the moon is void of course, what that means is like the moon, she's finished all of her major conversations with like all of the planets. And she's not going to be moved. She hasn't moved into her next sign yet. Okay. And she's in that in between. She's in that in between state. And that's, I call it the meantime, in the meantime. And, I'm very particular about language because in the meantime, most people think like, okay, it's a time that we haven't established one way or the other. But the fact of the matter is that it's mean, as in that it's unkind, because life has not given us one direction in one way or the other. And so in the meantime can really make or break where we're going to go with things. So, and that's how life can feel during this time. There's no concrete one way or the other. There's no concrete answer that we got. So a lot of us may feel unmotivated. A lot of us are going to feel distracted, or we're going to feel like nothing is moving the way that we have planned. Conversations can go nowhere. Plans can change. Decisions made now may never be revisited later. The fact is, though, that doesn't mean that today was a bad day. It means that the energy is better for slowing down than locking things in. Just do y'all, does that make sense? Y'all feeling me? So hold on. This is one of Yasmin Boland's card for the void, of course, the moon that is void, of course. Nothing will come of this situation. And let me tell you something, y'all. When I got presented with the Moonology Oracle, I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. You're like, oh, all about the moon, but I'm going to tell you something. Yasmin Boland and her decks, they have quickly become some of my very favorite decks. So, I'm very happy that I was getting it. So spiritually, this when the moon is void, of course, this is our invitation. This is our invitation to pause. It's our invitation to pray, to rest, to meditate, to reflect, or to finish what we've already started instead of chasing something new. Sometimes our strongest move isn't to push any harder. Sometimes our strongest move is just to stay in that holding pattern until we gather the energy, until we get more information. That sometimes that is the best. That's the best course. Sometimes it's knowing when to let life catch up with us. So today we didn't have to force anything today. So have you all ever had those days when you are trying to get something done, but nothing is flowing, nothing is connecting, nothing seems to be going right, and then you sit down and you start something, and then like 5 minutes later you're doing something completely different? Today was that day. And then we look back and you're like, girl, I got nothing done, or I was being lazy. Here's the thing, though. What if you weren't? What if you weren't being lazy? Yesterday our energy was about breaking out of old patterns, and today the universe is saying, slow down. Today the moon is void, of course, and for the most of the day, in plain English, the energy is in between chapters. It's not the best time to force any kind of decision. It's not the best time to push something that isn't moving. And you may find it hard to focus. You may find it hard to stay motivated. You may find it hard to be productive. And instead of fighting that energy, you need to work with that energy. Sometimes doing less is exactly what's needed. And then later tonight, y'all, later tonight, where's it at? Where's it at? Do I got it? Nope. Wait, nope, shit. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Did I get There we go. Later tonight, y'all, the moon goes into Aquarius. Right there. There she go. The moon is going to be going right into the Aquarius. And when that happens, everything is going to shift. Our energies are going to come back online. Our minds are going to wake up, and something unexpected could happen. A phone call, an invitation, a new idea, a conversation that changes our mood. The moon in Aquarius, when the moon moves into Aquarius, the energy is going to shift. And this is time to step back and look at things differently and stop letting our old patterns run the show. See, Aquarius energy asks, is this still true for me, or am I just doing what I've always done? And we may feel the need for more freedom. We may feel the need for more space. We may feel the need for a fresh perspective. And this energy that encourages us to think outside the box, it's going to question what no longer fits. And it's going to make us it's going to make us allowed to be opened to new possibilities. Now, I'm going to say this much. Spiritually, the moon in Aquarius reminds us that sometimes the breakthrough comes when we stop trying to force shit the old way and allow ourselves to see something new. And the question, to sit with is here's the question that we need to sit with. Here it is. Here's the question. Am I growing, or am I staying comfortable with what I already know? And that's the beauty of Aquarius. It reminds us that life can change when we least expect it. So today with Aquarius, the tarot that best coincides with Aquarius is the star. And here she go. That's the star. And she reminds us that just because today starts slow, it doesn't mean it's going to end that way. It does not mean that it's going to end that way. You got to remember something. You got to remember something that we live in a world that tells us that we should always be doing something, always producing, always checking something off a list. So when we slow down, we feel guilty. Today, I want you all to start thinking about something. I want you all to start thinking that rest is not falling behind. Rest is not falling behind. Because sometimes rest is what keeps us from burning out. So you don't have to force life to unfold. What's meant for you will meet you when you are ready to receive it. Did you hear what I said? What is meant for you will meet you when you are ready to receive it. You don't have to chase. You don't have to constantly keep chasing. You don't have to keep chasing that job. You don't have to keep chasing that man or woman. You don't have to chase nothing. What you have to do is make sure that you have done all of your homework so that you are ready. You are the vessel that is able to receive what it is that you desire. If you got to chase, that means no. If you got to chase, that means no. Y'all in the chat, I want you to do this. Here's the affirmation. I want you to write this in the chat. And as you write it in the chat, I want you to think about the words that you are putting down. All right? We're going to affirm. Here's what we're going to affirm, y'all. I trust the timing of my life. Write that down. I trust the timing of my life. The universe is not in a hurry. We are, or what I should say, our ego is. The universe ain't ready. The universe ain't in no hurry. The universe is not in a hurry. If today felt slow, don't fight it. Handle what you can. If today felt slow, allow yourself to breathe, because tonight the energy is going to shift. Tonight the energy is going to shift. So here's the question. Now I want to get this right. And you know what? I would tell you something, y'all. I like doing the forecasts live. I like doing them live because you get to be a part of my process. All right. So here's the question for tonight. Where are you forcing something that needs a little bit more time? Where are you forcing something that needs just a little bit more time? And again, I want you all to write it in the chat. You just write your affirmation. I trust the timing of my life. When you can trust the timing of your life, you are sending a frequency to the universe that says, you know what? I hear you. I know you hear me. And so therefore, because I'm not seeing the results that I'm looking for, I know that I'm now going to work in faith. And when I work in faith, that means that I'm not going to have any doubt. When I work in faith, that means that I'm not going to have any type of frustration or worry. Because when I do, what that says is that I could do a better job than what the universe can do. And when you send that frequency out, the universe is going to say, okay, handle it. You can do better than me. Go ahead and do it. So where are you forcing something that needs just a little bit more time? Okay. All right, y'all. So from the Oracle of the Human Spirit, we've got card number 20. Wait a minute. We got card number 27. Can you all see that? Is that coming through correctly? Damn it. That's the best I can do. We got card number 27. 2 + 7 is 9. When we talk about the numerological aspects of the number 9, we're talking about an intensity. Something's building up. We're talking about a completion, an ending, a closure, something drawing in. All right. And this card right here says, give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. Can you see, Mama? She got them crazy whirly eyeballs. She's saying, give it a whirl. Hold on. I got some comments up in here. Let me see what we're doing here. Yes. Yes, Miss Yvette. Yes, Miss Allen. I'm understanding this. Yes, Mama. Yes, Miss Allen. Yes. Yes, Autumn. Yes, Autumn. Autumn. When we can let go, let me say this to you, baby. Let me say this to you. If you can let go of the expectation, you will not be in line for any disappointment. Did you catch what I said? If you can release the expectation, because expectations are we're attached to the result. And if we don't get the result, then we're going to, it's a downward spiral. Then we're going to be disappointed. But it starts with that expectation. When you can let go of that expectation, there will be no disappointment. There will be no disappointment. All right. And so let's go back to the Oracle card. This right here. And wait a minute, and y'all saw my shuffle, y'all saw my pull, and it's, I don't know if I'm making it connect or if it does connect. But this right here, it says take a chance. Give it a whirl. It says Allow yourself to explore something new without needing every answer before you begin. When I hear that, give it a whirl. Here's the question that comes into my mind. What would happen if you trusted yourself enough to try? What would happen if you trusted yourself enough to just allow? To trust yourself to know that you did everything that you could, and at the end of the day, the universe is going to have its say. Because with this card, give it a whirl, it's invoking curiosity. It's invoking curiosity. You giving it a whirl means that we're being hopeful. It means that, give it a whirl. It means that we're going to get on that roller coaster. Remember how we were all afraid of that roller coaster? And we got on it, and our stomachs dipped, and we let out a few screams, and and we had that opportunity to feel insignificant, because what was going to happen on that roller coaster was beyond our control. But at the end, we coasted right back onto that platform. That man opened up that bar, and we got out, and we continued with our lives. We did okay. We did okay. Growth on our part, it requires movement. And sometimes that confidence comes after we begin, not before. Sometimes that confidence begins when it doesn't come before we start something. It comes after we took that step. And wait a minute. And you want to know something? Give it to me. Here we go. Here we go. The Fool. This right here. The Fool is the tarot equivalent of give it a whirl. Baby, the Fool is right there at the edge of discovery. The Fool is right there at the edge of discovery. And it's our perspective. You've got the little dog right here. That is his spiritual helper. And it's up to us. Is his spiritual helper warning him, or is that spiritual helper celebrating him, encouraging him to take that next step? Because you see his little knapsack right here. The Fool got everything the Fool needs to go with that journey. We got to be like the Fool. We didn't come this far just to come this far. We did not come this far through all of the trials and tribulations just so that we can feel like we are ill prepared. That's what we're not doing. And I'm gonna tell you something. Fear will keep us stuck. Fear will keep us stuck by convincing us that we need more certainty before we start to take an action. By trying something new. That's going to help build our confidence, and it's going to help build our resilience. Listen, once again, the Fool is right there at the edge of discovery. The Fool is right there at the edge of discovery. And wait a minute, coming down that hill, the Fool saw where that ledge was at. So, so right here, the Fool knows I'm going to fly, or I'm going to fall, but I'm going to take that chance. And if I fall, I know I can pick myself up again. That's what we got to be. That's what we got to be. And you all, I know a lot of us are tired. I know a lot of us are tired. And I hear it. Miss Ronnie, I got the resilience. I just do not have room or the bandwidth for another heartbreak. Babies, the best I can tell you is that if another heartbreak comes your way, that meant you did have the resiliency. And if another heartbreak comes your way, it's only because you didn't learn from the first time. Or here it is, that heartbreak came to let you know that you're still standing. Wait a minute. And here it is. Who's to say, wait a minute, I got one for you too. And what if the Fool falls? and that fool hits rock bottom, is that the most horrible thing that could happen to him? That the fool hit rock bottom? Everyone is afraid to fall. Everyone is afraid to fail. Everyone is afraid to hit rock bottom. But what you all tend to forget is that divine presence, omnipotence, God, whatever you want to call it, created rock bottom too. Did you catch all that? God created rock bottom. And wherever you are, divine presence, omnipotence, God is there too. So you don't have to know. You don't have to know every step before you start. Sometimes the only way to discover what's possible is to give it a try, is to give it a whirl, and to trust yourself to take that first step or that next step. So with that, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And I know the ancestors are with me because this did not come from Ronnie. I know this was not me. We going to affirm. We going to affirm. I trust myself enough to explore new possibilities. I trust myself enough to explore new possibilities. That's your affirmation for this card right here. And here's the question I want you to think about something, y'all. What is the one thing that you've been afraid to try? What is the one thing that you all have been thinking about that you are afraid to try? I gave you all your astrology. I gave you all your oracle reading. The link is there. Anybody want to come up? Anybody want to elaborate a little bit more? Feel free. If not, we are done. And please don't forget to do all the things. Please like the video, and share the video out, all that other stuff. It just and I'm gonna thank you. Wait a minute, yeah, Miss Yvette. Miss Yvette, you always let me know that you appreciate what's coming out. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I'm just gonna tell you this, you all. Not every opportunity comes with a guarantee. Sometimes life is asking us to take a chance, to learn along the way. Discover what we're capable of. Take the next step. Because that's when the real journey happens. That's when the real journey happens. All right. Yes, Miss Allen. Yes. Yes. All right, y'all. I'll be back with content tomorrow. And like I said, you know what? Anytime I miss, I'm always going to come up and I'm always going to give you something that I'm going to probably hopefully give you better than what it is just like, on YouTube or on Instagram or something like that. But let me see what else. Today was real interesting. Like I said, I had to go to the doctor. Hold on. Thank you, Miss Yvette. Thank you, Miss Yvette, for stopping by, love. Thank you, Miss Yvette. And I swear I had an amazing time with you in Chinatown. And listen, like I said, I don't know if y'all saw that, but Miss Yvette, she got me this little creature right here. Hold on. We got Autumn over here. Miss Autumn, listen, Miss Yvette got me this little creature. And you know what? And I think I got a very good feeling that she paid for it because we didn't have to run afterwards. Yeah. So I'm very grateful for that because yeah, girl, my corns were hurting. I didn't feel like running. So, yeah, I'm grateful for that. You know, I love Miss Yvette, but you know, she got a tendency to have a little sticky fingers every now and then. But it's also a good cause, you see. So no, but girl, we had a good time. We had a very good time, baby. Last Sunday, Chinatown was a whole vibe. Chinatown
All
was
right.
a
All
whole
right.
damn. It was a whole vibe. Autumn, how are you, my love?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I needed it. I needed everything you gave me tonight. I
All
needed it
right.
all.
I'm on assignment. I'm on
Yes,
assignment.
indeed. And I needed it all. I did. I did. My eyes got all watery. They watery now, but I appreciate you and I love you so much. I do.
I tell you, baby, tears are information, baby.
Yes,
Tears
indeed.
are you let them go, sweetie.
Yes,
You
indeed.
safe space right here, girl. We celebrate the tears.
Yes, indeed.
That is a release.
Yes, it is.
But Miss Autumn, I'm gonna tell you, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and it's work that we need to do. And the thing is, baby, is that almost every reading that I've ever given you, it always accumulates to the same thing that you carry too much.
I do.
You
I really
carry
do.
too much.
I
And
do.
wait a minute. And the thing, hold on, Autumn. I want you to repeat something. I want you to repeat after me, okay?
All right.
Repeat this, baby. Repeat this. Capacity does not mean obligation. Say it. Capacity
Capacity
does not mean
does not mean
obligation.
obligation. Capacity does not mean obligation.
Just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
Absolutely.
Just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah.
And so many, and especially with women, we will pack more on our back because it's either out of trauma or out of guilt.
Yeah. And that's so true. That's so
And Miss and Mama, neither one of them, trauma or guilt, none of that shit has ever helped anybody. Trauma or guilt is not the only thing trauma and guilt is good for. Hold on. Wait a minute. Miss Javette say it twice, so I know you know it's real. Capacity does not mean obligation. Just because you can does not mean you have to. Wait a minute, and particularly with Latina women, you know what I'm saying? Listen, black and brown women, it is just in our DNA. It is just in our DNA. And baby, that is something we need to deconstruct. That is something that we need to deconstruct because our non-melanated sisters, they don't suffer that. They don't suffer that. And they live it not just, and I'm not saying we need to be just like them, but what I'm saying is that self-preservation is the first law of nature. Wait a minute, Yvette, we all do. We all do, sweetie. We all have to work on that. And that is why, wait a minute, and that is why I appreciate Michael and why I appreciate Miss Autumn coming up, because they will put themselves to be vulnerable. They do, whether they know it or not, they doing the work. When you are able to come up on a platform and say, this is my truth, for as good, bad, or ugly as it is, what happens is that the most ugliest part of your story will now become someone else's survival blueprint.
Yes.
And though you had to carry the lesson, you had to carry the burden. When you see your resiliency, when you see that with all the shit that happened to you, you are still standing, it means that there was for a reason. That shit happened for a reason. And not only did it happen for a reason, it happened for a reasonable good. And and half the time, and wait a minute, I don't like it. I don't like it because it's an unfair responsibility. And
Yes.
half the time, it's to show other people that if I made it, you can make it too. And I'm gonna tell you something. Oh Lord. There were many times I wish that I wasn't somebody's learning experience. There were many times I wish that I was not somebody else's learning moment, that they learned the shit, but I got to learn it. I learned it. And that experience and that resiliency and those lessons, that is shit no one can take from me. That is shit no one can take from me. I listen. I don't want to go too deep with the way this current administration has been operating. More and more, we're feeling very targeted.
Oh yes.
With the unaliving of that young man Nolan. We're like, here we go again. Here we go again. And there are times that, like, I will have to turn, hold on, whoo, shit. And there are times that I got to turn my mind off because I feel like if I start to cry, I feel like it'll never stop.
Yes, that's me too. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
But I know that the lives that we have lost were not lost in vain. And because I cannot see the lasting good that came from it, and that's because my anger gets in the way. My anger gets in the way. And that's why I can only go so far with this. Because if I go all the way in, I lose myself and then I can't come back up.
Yes.
And not and wait a minute. And I'm not gonna, how do I want to say this? And not that my little channel is the end all or the be all, but when I come up, I gotta be as authentic as I possibly can. And when I do, before I come up and I do my prayers, I want to be able to give who's ever watching me, give them strength. And because sometimes we need that. We just need that. And so therefore, like, I will do my outbursts. I will have my emotions, but I'll do it. And I try to do it some way that it's more constructive so that I could come on back and grab people by the hand and like, come on, we're gonna get out of this. But it affects me too. But I say all that to say this, going back to that concept, capacity does not mean obligation. And because I'm capable of doing it, doesn't mean I have to. There might be some days where it's like it got to me and I'm not gonna do no content, but I will come back and I'll do it again. Listen, today I had to go to the doctor, and I'll be honest with you, I was nervous. I never had to worry about my health. And I'm just like a lot of people that in the minorities. I've got this pressure. They had to do an EKG. The best thing that came out of it was like, girl, your heart sounds good. Okay, knock on wood. Yeah. But I never had to worry about those things. And now here I am. And it's just another way of the universe saying, girl, you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of everybody else. And things may come my way. And it's just like, Ronnie, you don't have to pick that up. And I'm learning, and it's not easy, but I'm learning to walk away from more and more. And it's very, very, it's very challenging because I'm going against what I've always been doing. But what I have found is that by walking away from the shit that I know that I could pick up, y'all, I'm finding myself breathing a little easier. I find myself having a little bit more bandwidth because at the end of the day, whatever's going to happen, because I didn't pick it up, it's going to happen. And as a human being, there's very little that I could do about it. There's very little that I could do about it. So that's where I'm at with all this. How have you been though, Miss Autumn? You said okay, but it seems like something's on your mind.
Yeah, I'm okay. Just listening to you and listening, to you earlier, it's like, I know that this too shall pass. I know that, you know, um, my beliefs and stuff is strong, but when the weight is so heavy, and it's like when it's like you find your way out just for a second, and then here something comes again.
Yep.
And it's like you just don't feel like you just get a breath of fresh air, and you know, um, you just put the smile on, and you just for that moment just act as if it's not happening. This is not happening. You know, you'll get over it. Sometimes it's like the weight gets so heavy, and it's like you know, um, I used to question God. I questioned God when I went to jail for a second. And then it was for a second. And then as I was there and I had a lot of quiet time to myself, all of those thoughts that I had subsided. But I never cursed God. I never cursed God, but I was like,
Maybe you want to know something? You want to know something, Autumn?
mhm,
You want to know something?
I'm listening.
You can curse God. God can take it. God can take it. God can take it. God can take it. And when you're done, God will be there. God can take it, Autumn. And when you say, you over here saying, this too shall pass, yeah, this too will pass. But baby, you don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. You can allow yourself to feel those things. And by acknowledging that, darling, by feeling them and by acknowledging that shit, baby, that shit may save your life. That shit will save your life. That shit will give you more clarity. That shit will give you more bandwidth. We don't have to like the shit that happens. All we got to do is keep going through it. And you can grumble and all that, and you're like, how are you letting this repugnant orange motherfucker live? And this baby, how do you do that? And when you come back in your body, you go back and you say, I need an answer.
Yes.
I need an answer. And I need you to take this off of me. You can curse God.
It's been my prayer. I'm like, God, I said, God, I'm tired. I'm not the perfect person, but I need a break. I said, just please, whatever is going on, whatever lessons I need to learn, whatever. It's like I'm tired. I'm just tired, and it just seemed like, well, here lately for a while, I try not to complain, but it's like it's been over and over. It's like it hasn't let up. And if it let up, it's just for a second. That's what it feels like, just for a second. And then it's like back in the fire I go. And it's like, oh my God, can you just give me a break? Just let me catch my breath for a moment. Like, and it's just, I'm like, God, I believe you. I believe you going, this going to come up off me. I believe it. I'm like, but when? Like, when? Because it's like this.
Mama, you want to know something, baby? I'm gonna tell you something. That the when and the how fucks us up more than everything.
It does. It does. It
The
does.
when and the how fucks us up more than anything. And darling, in the West, particularly in the West, a lot of spiritual traditions, cursing at God is seen less as a rejection of faith and more as a raw, honest expression of pain. And for all of this almighty omnipotence and all of that in the West, we confuse that with inapproachable. And it's like I said, baby, sweetie, there's no cursing out God that is so strong that God is ever going to turn God's back on you. And when you're done, you and God have a clearer understanding. God knows where your pain is at. And now that is an open invitation for some real healing to begin. But you got to get that out of the way first, baby. You got to get that out of the way first. So
Yeah.
I believe you, darling.
Yeah, I'm a strong old girl, but sometimes this old girl get tired of being strong.
Say, strength don't mean that the shit ain't heavy.
It's heavy. Yeah, that's true. It's heavy.
Strength, just because you're strong don't mean that the shit is light.
That's true. That's true.
But
other than that, I'm okay, baby. And I
Good.
thank you and love you so much.
Grace, baby. Give yourself the grace you deserve, honey. Okay? Give yourself that grace. All right?
Baby. I love you.
And I love you back.
Next time.
All right, y'all. All right. So y'all, listen, don't forget, tonight we're going to have the moon in Aquarius and the energy is going to shift. So we're going to stay tuned for that. All right. And y'all, thank you so much for joining the live. And y'all stay blessed. All right. Bye, babies.